info that may come as a surprise. Sometimes we like to dance with just us guys. It's your boy Dan Party.
Hello, my name's Mikey Gross.
And I'm Sean Sparks. We're with Team Wootzor. Today we are going to be reviewing Star Wars: The Queen's Gambit. This is a 2 or 4-player game, which means it can be played in teams. Designed by Avalon Hill, and it came out, I believe, in 2002, and has been out of print ever since. We found the game took us about 2.5 hours to play. I didn't find any suggested play times on the box. I've looked everywhere. I looked briefly through the rules again, so I don't know. Some games, I guess, just don't have suggested play times, and this is one of them. But I would say 2 hours would be a fair time to put on it. So I'm going to talk about my pros. But first, let me remind you that at the end, you can watch, at the end of this review, you can watch a whole round of us playing the game. And we'll kind of explain a few things as we go through it. Or you can also, somewhere in here should be a link to our whole playthrough that lasted some couple hours. So you can watch that if you're bored, or if you just like hearing us and watching us play. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so my pros for this game. First of all, I want to just say that the setup, when you look at this game, if you've seen it set up, you would think this is going to take forever.
Yeah.
But really it doesn't. It sets up very quickly. I'd say about 20 minutes, which I know some people say 20 minutes, that's a long time. But for as many pieces are in this game, I think 20 minutes is really quick. And I mean, you got 2 boards, you got a tower you got to build. But
155 Star Wars figures.
Yeah, So that's 20 minutes to me. I was impressed with the setup time, and it's like that because the board actually tells you, right there, put this piece here, put this piece here. So it goes pretty quick. The rules I think are easy to understand if it's an intermediate game, and the rules would be easy for somebody who's played a miniature game or have played similar games a lot. I didn't find the rules confusing at all. But there is a lot going on in a way, because there's so many different areas. You got the Naboo battlefield, you got the Theed Palace, you got the Theed generator, you got the Naboo starfighter trying to take over or blow up the droid battleship. So I didn't think the rules were that difficult. Here's the main thing: when everybody sees this game, it is gorgeous. I think it is the most gorgeous game I have ever seen once it's fully set up and displayed. And it just, when you see it, it just screams theme to you. And the miniatures are really cool. Now they're all kind of one color. You could paint them, I guess, if you wanted to. And they're the soft plastic, which some people don't like the soft plastic, but I can tell you as a very experienced miniature player, soft plastic for these smaller type miniatures is really good, because if you drop them on the floor and step on them, they won't break. Matter of fact, I think you could drive over them with a car and they wouldn't break. I don't suggest you do that, but especially considering how much this game costs. But hey, I do like the soft miniatures. I appreciate that. And then, the other thing I really like about this game, and I guess it kind of ties into the theme, is that you really experience everything on Naboo. Like I said, you got the battlefield, you got the palace, and it plays right into that. I mean, you've got to get into this throne room. You've got the I guess what's the word I'm looking for?
You've got all the different towers of the palace. You've got you're trying to battle through the palace. Even the scene where they're using the grappling hooks outside.
Right.
There's mechanics for
You're
that.
running right there, but yeah, one of the queens is actually you don't know which. There's 2 queen figures out there. I guess that's one. So one of them is secretly the queen. One of them is a, what do you want to call
decoy.
Decoy, right? So it even has that mechanic in the game. And of course, Anakin flying in the Naboo starfighter, trying to blow up the battle droid control ship. So it covers everything that you've seen in the movie wonderfully. The theme is fantastic. I think the beginning of the game, where you're drawing the cards and you got a ton of stuff to do. I think the beginning of the game plays fantastic, man. I mean, it just like, it's playing quick. Everything is, really critical in the beginning of the game. So I really like that. But now I'll get into some of my cons. Those are the things that I think are fantastic about this game. First of all, just building right off of what I just said, the gameplay is really great for maybe the first 2/3 to 3/4. And one of the games we played, the one you can watch, it kind of mechanically slows down at the end. He wiped out all of my droids in Thief Palace, and I had a hard time getting any into the palace, and then he couldn't destroy the droid battleship, so it just waiting for those right cards to come up. You're just turning cards. That got boring, and you never want to be bored in a game. But still, 75% of the play, and maybe you could come up with a house rule, or maybe you could play other games, and that never happened. But it did happen in one of the games we played. So, that's something to be kind of weary of, I guess. Also, it's a dice game. I don't mind a dice game, but I know in the years and the times that I've played games, some people just don't like dice games. So if you think, hey, I'm a bad roller, or things just never go my way, like this guy, but he's okay. He accepts his bad dice rolls, which is a good thing. But some people don't like dice games. That's just one of those things. And this last thing is not really a con. It's just kind of a warning, because look, if you're a Star Wars fan, I can't imagine not liking this game on some level. But I can tell you, it's almost impossible to find. And if you do find it and you find it complete, you're going to pay a lot of money for it. I really wish Avalon Hill would reprint this game, because it needs to be. It's fantastic as far as visually, and even the way it plays. But anyway, had this game not bogged down towards the end, and I not discovered, and I could maybe play it 20 more times, and that never happened again. But because it happened that one time, I was almost prepared to make this my all-time favorite game. It was that close. But that bogged down really did bother me. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, which is still a really strong rating. That means it's still going to go in my top 10 games. I would play it anytime. After I got done playing, I always know that I like a game when I talk to everyone around, talk to you. I'm thinking, hey, I should have did this. We should have done that. This, that. You've played a good game when you do that. And I can tell you, when you're playing a game also, there was some real tension there.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you think so?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and sometimes people mistake frustration for tension.
Oh.
But they really kind of go hand in hand, don't you think? Mm-hmm. It's like if I'm frustrated, then that means I'm enjoying this because it's tense. So, till the game bogged down.
Yeah.
Then that all went away, and it's like, well, this just ends. But anyway, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I really like it. This will be in my top 10 games.
Well, I like a lot of the things that you've said. The biggest part I liked about this game is that even though there's 3 separate battles going on, each battle is critical to the game. You cannot ignore each one. If you ignore the Gungan battle with the droids, someone's going to get the upper hand there. That's going to help them drive and get more turns. If you dominate in the Gungan battle, you get extra cards for other parts of the game. So I was doing well in the Gungan battle. I got more Jedi cards. I killed Darth Maul. That gave Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon free reign in the Theed Palace.
Really beneficial, yeah.
Yeah, so droids just started dropping. You can make some very strategic moves to make it hard for your opponent. I placed 2 of my units on the top tower right in a stairway, so where he couldn't get his numerical advantage on me. He could only attack me with 1 battle droid at a time. And then when you're attacking and defending with these dice, they're not standard D6s. You're having special red dice that have more attack power on it. You roll more hits. You have blue dice that roll more defense. The yellow dice or the green dice has an attack back. So if you roll this green die and a defend, you can damage your opponent back. Darth Maul took three hits on his turn.
Right.
So he was taking damage. I mean, the Gungan battle is a distraction. It is supposed to be. The Gungans are there to just distract the battle droids from swamping the palace. The Jedi-Sith battle is a very critical battle. I mean, story-wise it is, but it's also a very critical battle for the overall balance of the game. If that battle drags on, that brings more balance to the game. If someone wins that battle quickly, they're going to drastically increase the odds on their side.
Right.
I liked the dice. They were different. I mean, you had gray dice for your general rank and file soldiers. You had red dice for your heroes. You had green and blue dice for defense. The part of the game I really didn't like, or it's not that I didn't like, it just had horrible dice he talked about, was the starfighters. You're trying to go through these obstacles to get to the droid generator. It's also a time mechanic. The quicker Anakin gets through those, the sooner the game can end. Well, it took me 25 separate attempts, card plays, to get through that droid battle. So it was very difficult. Sean played very strategically. He had some good rolls. I had some bad rolls. That's how it is. It's a dice game. I mean, if you like them, you like them. You don't, you don't. But the randomness of it was nice because you're drawing cards from piles to play. You're drawing battlefield cards that affect the Gungan battles. You're drawing Theed cards that affect the Theed Palace and Generator. You're mixing and matching. You're playing them in order, alternating on turns. But you're also rolling dice. So you're having the random draw of cards, playing them in a strategic order, and then rolling dice to attack. I mean, there was a turn where Sean moved. I knew what Sean was going to do. He was going to move his guy in range. Mm-hmm. So I took Obi-Wan. My very last card of the stack was taking Obi-Wan Kenobi, running downstairs, killing his guy, droid, running back upstairs and guarding the stairwell. Mm-hmm. I mean, once you get to mop-up level of the game, though, it did drag. I mean, it took us too many turns. Yeah. Some house rules would really help that in effect. But honestly, like Sean said, this is going in one of my top 10, if not one of the top 5 games. Right. Except for, this would have been my all-time favorite game, had it not been for the slowdown at the end. So, I mean, honestly, I am giving this a 9.0 out of 10.
Oh, well, we agree.
Complete agreement.
I think that's the first time.
Yeah, it is. Now, like you said, it's expensive. I would love to have this game in my collection. I just don't know if I'm ready to pay for it.
Right.
Intact, I mean, expensive.
Well, at least you have a friend that has one.
I do have a friend who has one who also likes the game very well. So
right. Obviously, I'm a Star Wars fan with the Star Wars shirt. And I just want to kind of bounce back off of you here. The dice, I think, are a cool part. Even though we talk about dice, both of us mentioned, hey, if you don't like dice games, every dice is different. Mm-hmm. And I love that. I mean, some are defense dice that hit you back. Some, the dice are cool. I like it. I thought it was maybe the coolest dice I've ever seen in a game. I just wish they were real dice instead of the sticker dice, but that's a minor thing.
Yeah.
So that's it. We hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully stick around and watch the playthrough here for one round, or you can maybe click on that link earlier in the video and watch the whole thing if you don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
So there you go. Great game. Great game. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
I threw it on the ground. You must think I'm a joke. I ain't gonna be part of your system, man. Rub that garbage in another man's veins.
All right, so what you're looking at here is the setup for Star Wars Queen's Gambit, 2-player game, or 4 players if you want to play teams. What we're going to do is just give you like one round with a lot of explanation, a lot of walkthrough. Then after that, we'll just continue playing the game. We'll try to show you as much as we can, but some things might have to be edited in later, but we'll see. Okay, so what we do, we're going to start.
Who gets the first turn?
The first turn, which is done by this little token here, goes to the Trade Federation player, which is going to be me. Mikey will be the Naboo player.
Misa Gunga.
Yeah. Also, I guess I should explain more. On this side over here is the Naboo battlefield. This sort of acts as more of a distraction, like in the movie, where you can, if you wipe out an entire hex, what happens is you then get to essentially play more cards. When you play more cards, obviously, if you're playing more than your opponent, you're going to be able to do more things. You're going to have an advantage. Over here you have the Theed generator, which is underneath the palace. This is the palace in the middle. Here you have the epic battle between Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan, and of course against Darth Maul. And they have their hit point trackers on the board. They fight each other until either Maul or the Jedi win. And then at that point, whoever is surviving then can leave and go into the palace and help fight. And over here you have the space battle where Anakin is trying to destroy the droid control ship. But he's got to get through various stages, and as the Trade Federation, I can try to block him with these cards that are here. You'll see that maybe as the game plays along. And that kind of acts like a timer for the game. It's important for me to stop him from shutting down, because if he gets there, he shuts down all these droids. If I can stop him from getting there, then my droids live, and I can obviously do more things, play better. The first turn token, like I mentioned, that'll trade off. So second round, he will go first. Then in the palace, you have the control room up top, which has the 2 viceroys in it. They don't do anything, they're just there. But basically what he has to do, the Naboo player, to win the game is to have control of the throne room. And to have control of the throne room, you have to have more than one, how would I say that? Let's see. You'd have to have one more of the number of Trade Federation pieces in there. So right now there's 2, he'd have to have 3 in there, and he has to take out the droid control ship. Me, I have to destroy all but 2 of his pieces in the palace here, and that includes the 2 Jedi. So it can be difficult. So with that said, I think we're just going to play.
Okay.
Right? So first thing we do is we draw 5 cards.
We both draw 5 cards?
We both draw 5 cards from each deck.
Okay.
And just so you know, this deck over here and his deck over there, that is for what they call the Theed Palace deck. This deck over here is for the battlefield. Now those cards don't mean they exclusively play for those areas, but they kind of sway more, lean more towards those areas. Then we then look at our 10 cards, and we will pick 4 of those to play in order. So we'll place those face down, so the one you want to do first needs to be on the top of your face down deck. And you can see like a lot of these cards here have an option. You can do one or the other. Some cards will actually have 3. Some cards will say or, and some of them actually have an and. You can do both. Oh my. Yeah, it's crazy. Huh. Go to town.
You said 4 cards?
You pick 4, yeah.
That's kind of difficult to pick all the cards here.
Yeah, it is. It's not an easy.
Here are the cards that I'm picking for first turn.
That's kind of cool. I'll do that. I'll make that my last action. I won't do that yet. I'll do that as my next class action. Okay. I'll show mine as I play them.
Yeah. So the Red Queen, is that like from the Resident Evil movie? You're all going to die down here?
Yes. And just for a note, there are actually 2 queens. One is the real queen, one isn't. Only he knows, I don't. If I can defeat or kill the main queen, I get something, I forget what.
Your bonus is my Palace Guard only move 2 instead of 4.
Right, which is a big deal because he's got to try to get to this throne room.
It's okay, I'll just bring Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan up when I'm done with Darth Maul.
So we set the 6 cards to the side because those will still be part of our next hand.
Yep.
And now I go first, so I'm going to reveal my first card, which I will let you see what it is. This card is a Theed Palace card. It allows me to go with Darth Maul or 1 battle droid in Theed Palace.
So which battle droid are you going with?
Right. I'm going with Darth Maul. Alright. So Darth Maul, I only have 1 target. I could move around here, but it really serves no purpose. I'll just stand there, and now I got these charts. Hopefully you can see those. Yeah. It kind of tells me Darth Maul can move 12. Like I said, I'm not moving. I get 3 red attack dice.
Holy cow.
Okay. Now, as a defense, Oh, and he has a range of 1, which basically means he can only attack at a space of 1. What do you get in defense?
I get 1 green die and 1 blue die.
So he gets 1 blue die and a green die. That is his defense. So I will roll my attack first. And this is against Qui-Gon Jinn. Oh, I got 3 hits. Really, really good roll.
Here's my defense. I got 1 hit back.
He got 1 hit back. Now, I cannot defend that as the attacker. I can't defend. So what's going to happen is Maul will take 1 damage, and he will take 3, Qui-Gon. So that was a good swat on Qui-Gon. Good job. Okay. But he got 1 back. Now, he could have blocked. This blue dice on here also has blocks. Okay. Actually, the green die actually has 1 symbol that allows you to block twice, which is pretty cool. But the green dice
also has the
hit marker that allows you to hit. I mean, there's only 1 in 6 chances he could do that, and he did. So that was a really good roll on his part, in a sense.
I took a lightsaber wound in the chest.
Right, he took 3 right in the chest for that. Okay, so that is my one. Now he will play his first card.
My first card is use the Force. Draw a Thieves' Palace card and play it. Then draw an additional Thieves card and play it.
Okay, so we'll kind of show that up there. And the other thing I should know, since this was a Thieves' Palace, I put that on the discard pile underneath the Thieves' Palace. He'll do the same for that.
Yep. So drawing my Thieves' Palace card is a Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, or 3 Palace Guards.
Oh, wow. He has got 3 options on this card. He can go Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, or 3 Palace Guards.
What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to use Qui-Gon's move ability here to move around so that Obi-Wan will be able to get in here later.
Later on, yeah.
Yeah.
So he moved 3 spaces because he can do that. He can move up to 12. And how many attack dice do you get?
I get 3 red die.
So I'm going to slide 3 red die over to him. As my defense, I get 1 green, and I get 1 gold. Ooh, okay. We got 2 blanks, but this 1 die, he got 2 hits on it.
Double hit.
So he got a double whack on me. But I get to defend with 1 green die and 1 gold die. Okay, I got 1 shield, which equals 1 defense. So he did 1 damage to me. So
worth it.
that was good. Yeah, I mean he got 1 in.
So the next part of the Thieves' Palace card is I get to play an additional Thieves' Palace card.
Yeah, that's a really powerful card.
So my next one is just what I wanted, which is another Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and
he drew the same card. Okay, all right. Good shuffle job.
Yeah. Yeah, shuffled. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and get Obi-Wan into this battle.
Right, so now I'm being flanked by the 2 Jedi. So somebody needs to go down the well. Was he at 3 also?
He is also at 3.
All right. So Maul's getting ganged up on here, and oh man!
Holy cow!
He got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. He got two of these, 2 dice that had that, and then he's got a single die here.
What can I say?
With a single hit.
The dice like me.
Imagine that. The movie favors Obi-Wan. Wow. Obi-Wan always wins. All right. So let's see. Here's my defense roll. Oh, I got 3 blocks.
Oh,
look at that. The green die got a 2. And the gold die got a 1.
Which is the best possible.
That is the best possible I could roll because the gold die does not have 2 shields on it. So I only took 2 damage. That's pretty good considering how hard of a thump that was. Nicely done.
Yep.
So that ends his turn. He got to essentially play 2 cards with that 1 card.
Because some lightsaber action, yeah.
My next card. Okay, well look, you can tell what we're all worried about. I'm going to go with Darth Maul. I could go with 1 battle droid in Thieves' Palace, but yeah, right.
Come on.
So here I go with the 3 dice. He's got the, what is it, the blue?
Yeah,
Or
I've got a blue and a green.
Blue and green, yeah, okay. So I'm going to keep going after Qui-Gon because I've already injured him. You know, just try to stay focused. Alright, I got 2 hits. I scored a 2.
Here's my defense. Nothing.
No blocks, so he takes 2 damage.
There you go.
He's about halfway done. And that would be my turn.
Alright.
Now we go to the...
My turn is a Thieves' Palace card.
Another one. Now this one, oh my. The same one as before. It's got Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, or 3 Palace cards, which that's not a bad option either, to go with 3 Palace cards.
Yeah, no, Obi-Wan.
So Obi-Wan's going again. He needs a 3 dice. I need a green and a gold. Oh, he got 4 hits again.
That's why I'm sticking with Obi-Wan. I'm using the Force.
Alright. I got no blocks, so he got all 4 hits through. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm about halfway now.
There we go.
My next card. Alright, look at this. I get to go, this allows me to go with 2 battle droid groups, and I can move my battle droids up to 3 spaces instead of the normal, what's their normal move? 1. So it allows me to move them at 3. Or I could draw a feed palace card and play it now. I'm going to go with the top option. So you have to, in this game, you always have to move, then attack. You're never allowed to attack, then move, unless you're a Jedi. The Jedi has a rule, you can break up their movement however you want. So coming over here, I'm going to go after one, two. I'm going to move one of my groups here forward. Hopefully you can kind of see that. And then move another group forward. So I'm not moving a full 3. I didn't need to. But I'm definitely inside of the shield generator now. And I am going to attack these Kadu riders. They have, how many hit points do they have? Oh, they just have 1 each.
Yep.
So I'm attacking, since I have 4, I will roll 1 gray die for each battle droid. So I'm rolling these 4 dice. This is the first attack. I'm attacking this group of 2 Kadus. Okay. Oh, 3 hits.
Well, I don't know if I can defend against that, but I get the 2 blue die, 1 for each Kadu rider.
Yeah.
Block 1, still take 2.
So that would wipe them both out.
Yep.
So I guess that would, technically, I guess when you're playing this, you should only do 1 at a time. Because now I will take and go over here. So those 2 would attack that, and that would attack that. For that, I get to draw a card, a bonus card, since I wiped out an entire hex. I will draw a Theed Palace card. That stays face down. I do not know what it is, but I will definitely get to play that. That'll go on the bottom of my stack the second turn. So now these droids, and I really didn't really play that right. You should define what's doing what, but you know, for purposes of making sure we do it right. Here, so I got 4 there. On his 2, I only got 1 hit, so I'm not going to wipe it out. And he blocked that 1 hit anyway, so he took no damage. And now it is his turn.
Okay. I'm going to play Battlefield, where I can either use 1 Gungan group or 1 catapult.
Oh wow, he can use a Gungan group or a catapult. Catapults can launch 3 spaces, ignoring line of sight. They can shoot over top of things, so that's pretty cool.
I'm going to go with the catapult.
Okay.
On the group here that.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and I have 0 defense, so whatever he hits, he hits.
Holy cow! I get 3 red die and 1 gray die.
Oh boy, this could be nasty. 1, 2, 3 hits. Now what happens here, I form a pool of these, because I can actually bring these back in with certain cards.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And I can actually also, one thing we haven't encountered yet either, there are certain cards that would allow you to pull droids off of the battlefield and bring them into the palace. But there are also these, what are these called?
Troop carriers?
Yeah, the troop carriers, the tanks. They can, there's cards that allow you to bring them back in. So I create like this pool of death over here, I guess. Now that squad there is really weak. 1 more hit and he gets a bonus card. Alright.
I got to shoot for that bonus card.
Yeah. So this will be my last card. And guess what? I got another Theed Palace, and I got Darth Maul, or I could go with 2 battle droids inside the palace. Guess what I'm doing?
Battle droids, right?
Wrong again.
Okay. Darth Maul, huh?
Yeah, and he's going to stay on Qui-Gon. And I got 2 hits.
Well, Qui-Gon blocks 1.
He blocks 1, so he takes 1 damage.
Okay, Qui-Gon's got 5 hit points left, I think.
Yep.
And my last card is another battlefield card.
You're playing another battlefield card that is a catapult or a Cadou group. So the Cadous have what, a range of
2.
two, but they have to have a clear space in front of them.
Right. So what I'm essentially going to do though is I get the best odds of killing that group with the catapult.
Or you could move your Cadou. Oh, the Cadou probably doesn't have a good. What's the Cadou is?
It's 1 for each rider.
So you get 2. Yeah, the catapult's obviously way better.
Yeah, I feel like
And since I'm inside the shield, he can shoot me with the catapult anyway.
Yep. So it's 3 red and 1 gray.
Yeah, and I have no defense with my battle droid. So yeah.
There we go.
So he is dead. I put him over here in my pool of dead battle droids.
Now
He can draw 1 card as a bonus card for the next round. You can draw from either stack.
Okay, so I'm going to draw from the battlefield.
And he
deck.
doesn't look at it. He places it down. That'll be played next round. And I think that's it, right? We played our 4 cards each.
Yeah, we played our 4 cards first round. Obviously, when we get into the palace, I think we should really talk about what happens here. Just kind of walk through that, but I think we should just kind of go from here.
Yeah, and the combat kind of goes the same way even inside the palace. So that kind of gives you a sample. You can see where we didn't do any of this either. It didn't come up yet. But that kind of shows you some of the points of the game.
But much like any Star Wars game, we went heavy on the Jedi first.
Yeah, and maybe we won't next round. Who knows? So that'll kind of end where our point of just us giving strong tutorials. We'll just talk from this point forward, but we'll keep playing, and we hope you keep watching.